A lot of these women are finding these guys online. Like there are wonderful humans online that are available and that are looking for you. I mean, I was one of them for a long time. You know, I was out there because it's just how people meet each other right now. So don't give up on online dating. Don't give up on love, and don't give up on yourself. Like there's so many amazing possibilities available to you, and I'd love to help you. I'd love to help you find them.
Welcome to yourbrilliance.com. I'm your host, Amy Waterman. So there's one thing I know. I know that so many of you are ready for a true love relationship, and you are willing to do whatever it takes to make it work. You are motivated, you're positive, you're focused. And so you take the plunge and you set up your online dating profile and you click that button to take it live. And then you get bombarded with these yucky messages like, hey, you're pretty. What you doing tonight? And all the guys on there just seem to want one thing. They just seem to want an easy lay. They're not interested in laying the groundwork for a relationship. They're not interested in taking you out on an actual date. And they actually act like you should be grateful that they are messaging you. So what could you do? Well, you can ask dating coach Mat Shaffer for help. Now, those of you who watch my channel know Matt, you've met him before, you know that I love what he does and I love his commitment to empowering women. Now, he cannot change men for us, but what he can do is help us amplify the qualities already inside of us that attract the good men you're craving. And so if you are ready for a good relationship with a good man, then Matt is here to talk to us about how we can sift through all that dating crap to find a heart of gold. Welcome back, Matt.
Hey, Amy, I'm so happy to be here. It's always such a pleasure to connect with you and your amazing community. I am here to help hopefully shine the light on why these men are operating the way that they are, how you're calling that in, and how to transition into calling in the right type of man, the kind of men that actually want to build a healthy, fulfilling relationship with you, because that's what you're worthy of, right? So let's just stop wasting our time dealing with all the shenanigans.
Right before, I want to ask you a question. Am I right that you are opening up a spot on your coaching list for my audience gratis?
Yes, I am doing it 100% for your beautiful community. I'm going to be doing a free 3-week training starting on February 21st. So just about a month from now, where you're going to get 50 plus hours of live coaching with moi, live group coaching, 15 video lessons. We're going to go through belief work, attachment style, personality type. It's really going to help you transform the way that you connect and build relationships from the inside out. So I guarantee you it will deeply help your relationships with men and everyone else in your life. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's totally free. So I hope that y'all come along for the ride. It's going to be so much fun.
Great. Well, we will talk more about that at the end, and I'll tell everybody how they can get hooked up. But first of all, okay, the question of the hour, Matt. Why do so many guys think it's okay to push for sex before they've even met you?
Honestly, okay, first off, not all guys are going to do that. There is a particular subsection of men who they're very noisy. They make a lot of noise, especially in the online dating space, but not just in online dating. They're at bars, they're everywhere else, where these men are looking for the path of least resistance. These men, they go by a lot of different names: players, fuckboys, toxic masculine, wounded men. I mean, you know, but at the end of the day, there's a wound there where they have decided that sex is a commodity, that they are looking to achieve the greatest amount of physical gratification for the least amount of effort and work possible, right? And online dating gives them a container in which they can just do everything they can. They just throw a bunch of spaghetti on the walls. They message 100 women with the same thing, and it's just a numbers game. You know, so it's just a toxic masculine paradigm. And again, I want you to start off by recognizing it is not personal. Do not take it personally.
Okay, so let me clarify then. So we're not like broadcasting subliminal signals that we don't know about to these guys, signaling that we would be open to casual sex?
Well, no, these guys are committed to finding casual sex, okay? And they're going to do everything they can to try to get it, okay? There are ways that you can set up your profile and ways that you can show up that will hopefully filter some of them out. Don't try to think you're going to filter all of them out, though, because these guys are very motivated to get that gratification. You know what I'm saying? And one of the things I'll say to my women, my magnets, the women in my community is, a flame cannot necessarily control the type of moths that are drawn to it. Okay. So the brighter your light is, the more magnetic, the more radiant you are in terms of your beingness. It's going to attract a spectrum of men to it, great guys, guys, and then, guys that are just looking to take what they want. So it's part of the game. And it's almost like you have to accept that when you go into online dating, when you go into any space where you're going to be allowing yourself to be seen by a lot of folks, not all of those folks are going to be giving you the attention that you want, but it's your responsibility to divert and not allow a lot of your energy to get drained into them, because they are vampires. They will take as much as you're willing to give them, physically or energetically.
Okay, so I have another question. What percentage do you think of guys on those sites are actually interested in real relationships?
That's a great question. And I mean, probably if I was a betting man, probably like 25, 30%, maybe 40%, I mean, 50 to 60% are men that are kind of looking for the path of least resistance, and again, that number will also vary based upon the container that you're in. On Tinder, right? Probably a majority of people are looking for casual encounters, not just men, women too. Looking for Tinder is a more casual site, right? But if you're on like Match.com that has like a paywall, that paywall filters out a lot of the BS casual shenanigans. Not all of it, but a lot of it, right? Because that 30, 40 bucks a month, those people, the path of least resistance doesn't require money. You know what I'm saying? So and then eHarmony is going to have its own thing, and all these different dating sites are going to have different allocations. But you want to be conscious of the energy of the container that you're bringing yourself into as you start to move forward.
Okay, so you had mentioned that there's a way to kind of set up your profile so that you are inviting the good guys in, and maybe, I don't know if you could actually like put up the shield that repels bad guys, but how would you design your profile to minimize the bad guys and attract more good guys?
All right. So the first tip is, the first and most important thing is be crystal clear on your vision for the relationship that you want. Be able to see it and feel it and experience it in your mind, in your heart. One of the things I talk about in my coursework is the concept of a dream day, where you write out experientially your entire day, waking up with your dream partner, with your ideal partner, right? Because you want to be able to feel that dream relationship in your body. That's a huge component of it, right? Because once you have that clarity, you get to ask yourself, how do I get to show up to call in that relationship? Who do I get to be? What version and expression of myself do I get to be to create that relationship? How confident do I get to be? How surrendered, how playful, how sensual, and start asking yourself, like, what ways of being do I get to embody authentically that will allow me to create that relationship? That's the foundational layer, right? And then you get to ask yourself, okay, if this is who I get to be to call into that relationship, and what do I need to let go of? What insecurities, what fear, what cynicism, what beliefs about myself, right? A lot of times women will have beliefs around their worthiness to call in that love. They'll have beliefs around dating apps. They'll have beliefs around, men in general. All men are just looking for sex. All men on dating apps are just a bunch of flakes. Once you start speaking in absolutes, right, like that, if you don't address those and release them consciously, they will subconsciously be communicated into your dating profile. And let me tell you, as a man who has spent over a decade, I mean, I am happily in relationship now, and I am out of the game and happy to be out of the game, but like, I've done over a decade of dating apps, and I've had a lot of beautiful relationships that have flowed from dating apps, And one of the things that would turn me off faster than anything is when a woman would project her wounding and her defensiveness and her apprehension and her frustration through her profile. So one of the things that women do, and I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, Amy, is that they'll talk about what they don't want. Not here for casual sex, not here for bullshit, not here for this and that, like, I'm not here to waste my time. And I'm like, oh my God, like, that is so depolarizing to the masculine. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Absolutely. So one of the interesting things is when I hear you talk about belief work, I know I will make sure and put links to some of my previous interviews with Matt, but you talk a lot about belief work and you go through this in your free course, don't you?
Yes, I do. Yeah, it's because it's the core of everything, right? What the beliefs you have about yourself, the beliefs you have about men and intimacy and relationship, the beliefs you have around dating. If you believe that all men are just interested in sex, that if you believe that men can't be trusted, there is a concept called confirmation bias, where you're going to start to create those experiences to prove yourself right. You are going to subconsciously be drawing in and attracting people that are validating these beliefs that you don't actually like these beliefs, right? But you're choosing to adopt them anyway, you know? So remember, your beliefs are a choice. So by changing your beliefs, you're changing the framework around which your reality will be created around you, because everything around you, your world, your relationships and whatever, are a mirror for your own energy and your own belief system and structure that you choose to adopt. So there's a tremendous amount of power in doing this work, and we're going to be covering it in our course, you know. So that, because that's the foundational layer, right? So you want to structure your dating profile around the beliefs that you choose to adopt, that you are worthy of deep, profound, expansive, soul fulfilling love, right? That there are great men out there, right? Your profile is just an initial filter, you know. And so don't make it like a negative filter where you're trying to fight off the bad guys. Make it a positive filter where you're seeking to call in the good guys, right? I am an authentic, radiant woman who has a beautiful friend group, who is passionate about this, that, and the other, who enjoys play and adventure. Remember, the masculine is seeking to be set free by the feminine. There are things that the masculine is craving energetically from the feminine, right? So you get to embody that, to be activating and to call in men, and then trust your discernment to weed out the fuckboys. I mean, of course they're going to be out there, right? But like, you know, and that's part of the price of admission. You go out to a bar, right? Is every guy that's going to hit on you going to be Prince Charming? Probably not. You know, if you're open and you're being flirtatious and you're allowing yourself to connect with men, and you've dressed up in a way where you're looking to attract attention, right? You're going to have a spectrum of folks, you know, come to you, right? And some of those guys are going to be gross, maybe, you know. And it's not like, oh my God, I attracted a gross guy, what's wrong with me? No, you just allow that energy to bypass you and continue to look for and build connection with men that you actually want to, you know, build a relationship with.
Okay, so I want to now turn the discussion to women who have just started out on online dating sites, and maybe they don't have a lot of experience, and they are coming in with really positive expectations. They are coming in expecting that they will find a beautiful connection that will lead to a relationship, and then they get fooled. So they meet a guy. They meet a guy online. He says he wants a relationship, and so they exchange numbers and they start flirting a bit, and the texting gets all hot and heavy. And next thing they know, this guy is saying, "Why don't you come over to Netflix and chill?" And he hasn't even asked you out on a date. And suddenly you realize that he never intended to ask you out on a date, that it was always leading straight to the bedroom. So what is going on there? And how can women who are new to the online dating scene adjust their expectations so they know whether it's going to lead that way and stop it before it gets that far?
Yeah. Well, first off, you got to remember that all the masculine is inherently has a deep sexual drive. And we as men, we recognize that it is our responsibility to escalate the physicality of relationship. Okay. So men in good guys will escalate as well. Right. There is a responsibility on the feminine to sort of be the conductor and to guide the masculine, because the masculine will be the driving force of the physical relationship, you know, if a man is standing in his power. Okay. So that being said, it is the responsibility of the feminine to lay the boundaries. And I talk a lot about the woman being the conductor. The conductor, if love is a symphony, right? The woman is the conductor on the podium, and the man is the guy holding his oboe down in the orchestra, like looking for guidance, looking for instruction on how to move forward. You know, he's the doer of that physicality, right? So it is your job as the conductor to set the tempo. It is your job to pace the masculine because he's looking to move things forward, not just players, like good guys, good guys in the early stages of all men in the early stages of getting to know you are evaluating what category you're going to fall into. Are you a potential relationship girl? Are you a just for fun girl? Or are you a I'm not interested girl? Like there's 3 buckets that you can end up in, And so if you don't pace a man, if you just allow him to sort of like escalate things and move them forward, you're going to fall into that just for fun category. He's going to move forward accordingly. And some men are only looking for that. So they're going to try to push things in that direction. And so if a man takes things sexual very early on, when you've given him no indicator that that's where you want to go with it, that's a huge red flag. That's a guy who's, just interested in that, but even a good guy, he might get flirtatious. Things might start to escalate a little bit. And it's your responsibility in that situation to be like, hey, I'm really enjoying getting to know you, but let's keep things PG until we have a cup of coffee. Like just make it joking, make it playful, but just sort of like, pace it down, use your conductor wand and just sort of slow things down a little bit. Like, I'm really loving getting to know you, let's cool it down a little bit, until you at least buy me dinner, like just make it a joke, like have fun with it and see how he responds to that. If he ghosts you or disappears, then that's all he was looking for. And that's a blessing that he's not in your space and he's not in your energy anymore. If he says, haha, you're right. Good point. Well, how about we go out this Friday? Okay. Like divert him back to, like what it is that you're looking to do, which is build a deeper connection with him, or even just a Zoom call, like just get him out of like the texting loop and be like, why don't we have a little Zoom date, and because a lot of guys won't be as nearly as courageous with their like flirtatious shenanigans if they're actually looking at you in the face.
Yeah. So I want to ask a little bit more about that, because I have had some women say that they've like even gone out on a date with this guy and it's been amazing. It's been so much fun until the moment they say, I'd rather take it more slow. I don't want to jump into bed right away because I'd rather get to know you because I think this could really become something. And they never hear from him again. So is it that these guys were just looking for casual sex, or is there a mistake that we sometimes make? And when we tell a guy that we want to take it slow, that's putting him off.
I mean, it can be either. It's more likely to be that if you've had a good date, right, and then he makes an overture and it's a first date, right? Any guy who's really looking to pull the trigger on sex on a first date, that probably wasn't a decision that he made during the date. That was like an intention that he had before the date, right? So most of the time, not most guys aren't going into especially if like you're excited about potentially building a relationship with someone and that's your intention for dating is to build relationship. You're not going on that first date being like, yo, I'm looking to bang my potential wife on our first date. Like, you're not doing that. Like I didn't do that with my current partner. I didn't do that with my last partner who I met on a dating app. I didn't go on that first date, with some intention to close the deal on my first date. I wanted to get to know her. I wanted to co-create a beautiful experience with her, and that's what happened. And I'm not saying it didn't get physical, right? Like you can make out and things can happen and it can get hot and heavy, but like, you're not looking like I actually am pretty intentional about not doing that on a first date with a new partner, particularly someone that I've met off of an app where I know they've got a lot of options or whatever. I want to build a strong foundation with them, and having sex with someone too early, a lot of times will fundamentally undermine the trajectory of any potential relationship. So if a guy is really pushing for sex, if a first date has gone great, but then a guy really starts pushing for sex again, that's a red flag that like, that's what this guy's motivations were from the beginning. And it's your responsibility at that point to sort of like gracefully and lovingly be like, hey, like that's not what I'm here. I'm loving getting to know you. I really had a wonderful time tonight. And I'm not saying that you're not turning me on, because you are, right? but it's really important for me to take things slow so that we can really get to know each other, you know. And you don't have to project into the future and be like, because I see this big, beautiful, you don't go there yet, right? But just let him know you're having a wonderful time and you really want to savor the experience of getting to know him, you know, and see how he responds to that. A man who is secure in himself, because I mean, because we as men, we recognize that it's our responsibility to escalate, right? So, I mean, I have attempted to escalate. I have thought that a date went great before online dating, right? And I've gone in for a kiss because I mean, and I'll be real with you. I'll be personal with you. I will always go for the kiss on a first date. If I think the date went well, I'm going for it. You know, in 95% of the time over the course of my life, it's worked out. 5% of the time, you know, you get shut down, or you get the head turn, you get the head turn hug, you know, and it's just like, and that there's an ego bruise that happens in that moment, you know. But like, sometimes a man will misread a situation and he'll try to escalate something and it wasn't appropriate. But you know, so you never know, right? But don't take it personally if a guy tries to escalate and you're not ready, because it might just be that he thought the date went well and he read it one way, you know. And but how you handle that, you know, if it's not about a guy who's just looking to have sex, right? But it's a guy who's like wanting to escalate, thinking that this was a great date and he wants to make out with you and you're like not there, right? Just be lovingly, playfully let him know, hey, I've really loved this, you know, but I really do love taking things slow. And I hope I get to see you again, you know, because as long as you give him that second opportunity and you let him know that you are down to see him again, you're not rejecting him, you're diverting that energy and allowing him, and knowing that, letting him know it's not over. It just gets to continue on to the next date.
So I don't know about all of you out there watching, but this is pretty amazing stuff. This is stuff that we as women don't always know because we don't have a guy's mind. And I think what it really points to is the importance of having a support person, right? So that you don't get discouraged and you've got somebody to bounce these experiences off from and get their perspective. And for, of course, a number of lucky women, that person could be you, right, Matt? You have a special event coming up.
I do. It's called Mastery of Connection. This is my flagship program. It's a $2,000 program that I'm offering for free because I'm still in the beta mode, testing it and making sure that it's absolutely perfect. And it's going to be a 3-week course. We're going to cover beliefs, attachment style, personality type, which are the 3 foundational components of building great relationships. So we're going to help you optimize those and give yourself a great foundation to build amazing relationships with men. You're going to get office hours with me twice a week, where you're going to be able to get live coaching from me on whatever's coming up for you in your space. You're going to be part of a huge community of amazing women who are all there to support each other during the process. Plus, you get over 50 hours of coaching and workshops with me on different aspects of dating and relationship and understanding men. I like to consider myself a manslater. So, and I have been all varieties of men. In my past life, I was a player, you know, back in my early 20s and my early days, I lived that life. I use the online dating apps as a way to, you know, manufacture physical gratification. Like I will own that. That's why I'm able to help you understand men that think like that, because I was there and then I evolved past that, you know, and use the dating apps in a great way. And now I'm in a beautiful relationship with, you know, like my queen, and I'm so grateful for that as well. So I've experienced the whole spectrum of the journey, and I'm delighted to help y'all understand why men act and think and feel the way that they are, so that you can better your discernment on letting in the right men in a graceful, loving way, and then releasing the ones that no longer serve you. So it's going to be an amazing journey, and I really hope you decide to come with us. We start February 21st. It's going to be an incredible party.
And again, I just want to emphasize too, this is absolutely free. So anybody watching this, don't think you got to pull out a credit card. Matt is not asking for credit cards. He is doing this because he cares about women. And Matt, you know, every time I hear you talk about what you do and the work you do with women, I just wish every single woman could have a guy friend like you, who also happens to be a dating coach and also happens to be in the business of personal transformation, because we women need cheerleaders and we need guys who are on our side. And I think that is so special about what you do. And that's why I really hope all of you watching, if you really want that love relationship in 2022, and this is really one of your goals, why would you not take this opportunity? I don't understand why, if you have this goal and you've got this amazing person who totally understands what women are going through and wants you to succeed, why would you not say yes? So again, Matt, let's just go through the details. It is an online program. So all women need to do is they need to type in their email address, and I believe it's on Facebook as well, right?
It's going to be, there's going to be an application link that you'll be sharing that where basically they fill out their basic information about what they're looking to create. And then, they put their email address in, and then my team reviews it, sends them a response back, letting you know that you've been accepted with all the details of what you get to do next. And then there'll be a Facebook group link, and you'll be able to join our Facebook group. And the program takes place in the Facebook group and then also over Zoom. That's where all of our office hours and all of our sessions will be, similar to the interview that you and I are doing right now. So it's going to be an amazing 3-week process with video lessons, 15 video lessons, and then live support in office hours with me twice a week. And then we do a tremendous number of workshops, live coaching workshops in the 3rd week as well. So, I mean, it's like the best value I feel in this industry for at no cost. Like, I do my best to over deliver tremendously to you in the process. And if you just join up and you come along, it doesn't matter if you're single, dating, in relationship, and you commit to doing the work, it will tremendously transform your life over the course of the month. So between February 21st and the middle of March, you can have a different belief system. You can understand why you've had these patterns in relationship that don't serve you, and you've been able to release them. You can heal past trauma. You can really go to a new level with your partner if you're in a relationship. It doesn't matter what stage you're in, this work will tremendously benefit you.
And this is for anyone in the world. You don't have to be in the United States to do it. You could be anywhere. And let me ask you one last question, Matt. If somebody is watching this after February 21st, can they still get in?
100%. Yeah. Well, I'll be accepting people in throughout the duration of the course. So anytime throughout the course, don't be afraid. You'll still be able to get value out of it. You'll still have access to the lessons. We have people signing up even on the last day, and they're still able to get some value out of the live workshops that we're doing, and, try to burn through the lessons, and if you sign up after the course period is over in the middle of March, don't worry, because we'll put you on the wait list for our next launch, which we like to do about 2 of these a year. So there will be another one down the road away. So either way, I will do my best to take care of you and give you tremendous value. You can trust me. We've had over 15,000 women go through this course, and I think we had 4 marriages in my community last month. So it's beautiful to see, so many women creating amazing relationships, getting married, releasing what no longer serves them, and stepping into their power. And, a lot of these women are finding these guys online. Like, there are wonderful humans online that are available and that are looking for you. I mean, I was one of them for a long time. I was out there because it's just how people meet each other right now. So don't give up on online dating. Don't give up on love, and don't give up on yourself. Like, there's so many amazing possibilities available to you, and I'd love to help you. I'd love to help you find them.
Perfect. Now, for those of you watching, if this sounds like it's exciting and you are ready to take your love life to the next level, don't pass this by. I mean, when do you get 3 weeks of free coaching by an established dating coach who wants nothing more than to help you make your dreams come true? So I don't know of any other dating coach that does what Matt offers. And I know how powerful this experience has been for the women who've attended. So get in there now and claim your place so that you are ready when the course kicks off. And the link you need to bookmark is yourbrilliance.org/Matt. So that's yourbrilliance.org/MAT, just 1 T. Matt, thank you so much for coming on. And I wondered if you had any last message you would like to leave our viewers with.
100%. I mean, and the message that I'd love to leave you with, which I alluded to earlier, but I really want to land here, is that I know it's been hard, right? I know it's been a hard road. I know the last couple of years have been hard for everyone, right? And in your love life, I know that maybe things have been very challenging. You've had heartbreak, you've had frustration, you've had men bait and switch you, you've had trauma, maybe going all the way back to your childhood, right? Like, things have been challenging. I acknowledge that, but I want you to know, and I want you to know this in the depth of your being, that no matter what you have gone through, no matter who has hurt you and how they have hurt you, right? You can't, it is not worth giving up on yourself. Healing is possible. Transformation is possible. Love is possible. Love from a man, love for yourself. Like I have seen it happen from women that are 30 or 25 and 20 to women that are in their 80s. I have seen it happen hundreds and hundreds of times. So do not give up on love. Do not give up on yourself. The world is waiting for you. Your ideal partner is waiting for you, and you can blossom into whatever it is that you want to, as long as you're willing and have the courage to face your shadow, change your beliefs, and step into the possibilities that are waiting for you right now. So I just want to leave you with that, because that is the truth that I've experienced in my life and that I've experienced in the women that I've served.
Thank you so much, Matt, for being on the show. And thank
My
you,
pleasure.
everyone out there, for watching. Now, did you have any insights or aha moments while watching this interview? Share them with us in the comments. And for more interviews like these, make sure to subscribe to Your Brilliance TV, and then come on over to yourbrilliance.com for more tips and insights on how you can live your most brilliant life. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time.